Well, this is an unexpected surprise. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the show. Well, actually, it's not very expected because I completely expected it because I planned it. I planned to have another episode of this show that we're going to keep on doing until either I give up due to lack of viewers or I get killed. Okay, so this week I have with me, oh dear, oh boy, I'm going to butcher this name like something fierce. Okay, hey, Ichiro, 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 Ichiro Yashida. Akiro. It's pronounced Akiro Yashida. Yashida. Okay, I'm just gonna call you Mr. Yashida. Yes, I am Akiro Yashida, a silver samurai. Yeah, you are the silver samurai. Well, you're only the silver samurai in the recent Wolverine movie. If you, the viewers at home, watch the Wolverine movie, spoiler alert, this guy is the silver samurai in that, and instead of who is supposed to be, and the guy who is supposed to be the silver samurai is supposed to be, oh lord, yeah, here's another name I'm gonna butcher. Ooh, I'm gonna chop this up real bad. Kanuichio Konnichiwa Herida. He was in the movie too. He was the archer guy. He was like Asian Hawkeye. Um, yeah, but he wasn't Silver Samurai. It was this guy. Yes, it was me. And so they did like a bait and switch. You think that the Silver Samurai is going to be one person, but instead it's someone else, and it's different from the comic books. Now, this is kind of like the thing they did with the Mandarin, but how come no one really cares about this? No one's been complaining. Everyone's been complaining about the Mandarin thing, the controversy going on with my good buddy Trevor Slattery, who we had on the shows on this very show's pilot. Well, I think that the reason why this has not gotten as much as a star as the Mandarin thing is because the Silver Samurai is not as well known as the Mandarin. Yeah, that might be the reason. So, to all those who have not seen an episode yet, this is Gravitalk, starring me, Graviton, and each episode I review a movie with a different supervillain. And this week, of course, it's Mr. Yasuda, the samurai, and I chose him because he really has a lot to do with this week's movie. And this week's movie is RoboCop. Yes, it is a RoboCop. Yeah, and that's why I got you, because you know a lot about technology. Yes, I have perfected the phone, and I made it great, and I make a Steve Jobs look like a pussy in his pussy grave. Oh, okay, let's have some respect for the dead. No, I will not have any respect for pussy grave or Steve Jobs. Okay then. So instead of having an actual samurai armor like in the comic books, you have a giant a robot suit. Yes, I have a robot suit that helps me because I am an older man who can't control his bowels. Yeah, too much information, but yes, you have. So you seem to be very appropriate to have on this week's show because this has a lot to do with robotics. Yes, sir, a robotics. So, how about we begin? Yes, let's start with the fact that this is a remake of a beloved movie from the 1980s that everybody loves and nobody wants to remake of. Yes, when a remake is a really good and people love it, and not very many people hate it. If it gets a remake, uh, most people will more than likely do not like that idea of remaking it. Yes, and that's why on today's episode, we're going to try to not compare this with the first one. That is going to be a very difficult. Yeah, you know what? When most people say they're not going to compare the new movie with the original, they wound up doing it anyway. And I think we're probably going to do that this one. Wouldn't you say? We're probably going to do it this one. Wouldn't you say? Yes, because the RoboCop is a very iconic movie. Everybody knows RoboCop. It's a very prominent figure in the movie history. So it is impossible to remake it without thinking about the first one while you're thinking about the new one. Yes. So let's begin with initial thoughts. What were your initial thoughts? I thought that if you see it, if you look at it by itself, you will see that the movie is good on its own right. Yeah, that's what I thought. If you don't compare it to the first RoboCop, this one is actually reasonably not that bad. It has its own. It's trying to do its own thing. Like it has the same concept, cop turns into Robo Cop, and it's got all the same basic principles, but it tries to create a different story using that basic concept. Yes, it takes that basic concept of a cop being killed by a corrupt system in Detroit and becoming a robotified version of himself, and learning how to deal with being either a robot or a human like he once was. Yes, and they deal with it very different. The main difference is that. No, I'm sorry, I coughed there. Ooh, you know how this time of year is. Flu season. It's the flu season. Okay, so back to the movie. The main difference is that in this one, Alex Murphy is present most of the film. In the first RoboCop movie, when he was turned into RoboCop, he was just RoboCop. Alex Murphy was dead. Like he at first he was Alex Murphy, then now he's RoboCop, and there's hardly any trace of Alex Murphy. And throughout the movie, he begins to develop back into Alex Murphy just a little bit. By the end of the movie, he calls himself Alex Murphy, but that doesn't mean he's completely turned back into Alex Murphy. Just a little teeny tiny bit. And in this movie, he's mostly Alex Murphy throughout, but there is a small part where he does become, completely RoboCop. But we'll get into that when we break down the movie bit by bit. Yes, we'll do that soon. But first, let's talk about also that this movie, I believe, did deserve to have a remake, because when you make a remake, you have to do it because you want to tell the story in a different way than the first one. If you do it the same way, like that Psycho movie, then there's no point in it. I mean, it was already made that way the first time. Why make it the same way again? Yes, you gotta adapt it. You gotta make it different. How can we say the same story differently but make it work good? Like use it to your advantage. And I think this movie pulled that off. Yes, it did. Okay, then I think we've given our initial thoughts now. Now let's go into breaking down the movie. Yes, let's dive right in. Okay, let's start at the very, very beginning with the lion roar. Yes, we see the lion and he is about to roar. Yes, the MGM Studios lion. But instead of roaring, you hear like a Chewbacca roar. Yes, a Chewbacca roar. Like not like that. I don't something like that. It took you a lot of time to master. Yeah, I had to give it a few tries before I could figure it out. Like this. See, something like that. And then we find out, oh wait a minute, that's not the lion being silly. That's Samuel L. Jackson. He's getting ready to about to do the news. Yes, he's doing vocal exercises. Yeah, he's doing vocal exercises because he's about to be on the air. And we find out that, oh look, it's Michael Jackson. He's wearing like a nice puffy wig that he probably borrowed from Donald Trump. And he's playing basically a black version of Bill O'Reilly. Yes, Black O'Reilly. Yes, let's call him Black O'Reilly. Not to be racist, we're just saying that to save time. So Black O'Reilly is talking about how in other countries they're using the this company called Omnicorp is using these technological weapons for protecting the Middle East. I can't believe we're still having problems in the distant future. Well, it's in the not too distant future. In the not too distant future, do MST3K. So anyway, back to the movie. In the Middle East, they send a field reporter to show how the American forces are doing in the Middle East, and in this future, all the soldiers have been replaced completely by robots and Ed 209s. Yes, Ed 209s. Yeah, Ed 209s everywhere. Like, remember in the original RoboCop, the Ed 209s were like these stop motion things. I think it's an improvement that in this version they're CGI because now they don't look like something off of Wallace and Gromit. Yes, they don't look like they've been made by Ottoman Studios. Yes, they look more realistic. So, now that the Edge 209s are modernized and they're walking around the Middle East in this screwed up place that looks like right out of Iron Man, the first Iron Man movie, and the real life. Oh yeah, real life too. We see a whole bunch of suicide bombers, and the suicide bombers are gonna attack the robots in the Ed 209s. And they do, and we find out that one of the suicide bombers has a little kid. He has like a son, and the son cares about the well-being of his father. But then when they see the Ed 209s attacking the suicide bombers because that's their job, the kid is like, no, I don't like this. So he gets out a knife. And the Ed 209s are supposed to be like scanning people to see if they're threats. And like they're looking at the Middle Eastern women and they're looking in their naked bodies. And And I don't like that because they're old women, and I don't want to see old women's naked bodies. Maybe if they were like hot 20-somethings. Anyway, so the Ed 209 detects the knife that the kid has and sees it as a threat, which makes no sense because it's a giant freaking robot. How would it be affected by a small kitchen knife? And the Ed 209 guns down the kid. Oh my. Yeah. One of the criticisms people had of this movie before seeing it was that it's rated PG-13 instead of R like the first one. And you were like, oh, that means it's going to be kiddified. It's not going to be as dark as the first one. I have to disagree with that. Yes, I would disagree too. This is very dark. Yes, it is a very dark movie. It might not be as gory or have as much of profanity, but it is just as adult. Yes, it is just as mature. There's actually very little comedy here. And also, it's... the flu season. So anyway, yes, it's I see it, and they show you that I see this is the movie telling the audience, see, this movie is just as dark as the first one, if not darker, because you know how in the first one there was this innocent man who was gunned down by an Ed 209 for no reason. Well, guess what just happened to this one? A little innocent child an innocent child has been gunned down by an Ed 209. Yeah, we went there. We went one step further in the darkness meter. It's not an innocent man getting shot down in the first few minutes of the movie. It's an innocent child. Yeah. Yes, that is their way of saying, look, we are about us as the first one. Yeah, and just like the first one where nobody gave a damn about the innocent man getting gunned down, no one gives a damn about this kid. Because then Black O'Reilly is like, oh, thank God they protected our field reporter. And the field reporter is like, yeah, I'm here, okay. Hooray, I'm fine. And the field reporter is this blonde lady. She's like, yay, she's fine. Except we just saw a kid just get killed in cold blood. So yeah, it's kind of the same principles as the first one, is how people care about life and death and the principles of things. It's kind of like that. Or how America cares about itself. It cares about this woman, but it does not care about the innocent kid who just got gunned down. Yeah, it's like that. So then Samuel Jackson is like, see how awesome these robots are? They just protected that useless girl, the useless blonde girl from our news station. And they're doing a crack-up job. How come we don't have our own robots? How come America is only allowed to make robots for other countries, protecting them, but not our own? We need our own robots. Ooh, when are they gonna do that? And before you know it, they cut to black, and then they show the title sequence, RoboCop. And do you know what they use as the music? They use the original score. Yes, the original score from the first movie. See, that's how they're saying, look, we're acknowledging the first one by using the original score. Like, and they modernize it a bit, not too much. Like, they don't add a whole bunch of dubstep, although I did hear a little bit of it. But, you know, they modernize it enough where it's like, you have a beautiful singing voice. That I do, Mr. Yashida. That I do. So, then they cut to Detroit. Yes, Detroit. Filled with crime and corruptness. Just like now. Everyone's probably made that joke. I know that you honest traders did. You learn to live with the fact that you're not completely original. Just like this movie. Nah, I'm just kidding, this movie's cool. So anyway, then we see Alex Murphy. And one of the departures from the first movie is that this Alex Murphy in this version is he's been in the force. He's been in this particular police station for a long time now. In the first one, he was like a rookie. Yes, a middle-aged rookie. So he goes to the chief of the station, and what I find interesting is that they kept the race of the chief. He's still African American. It's still an African American chief, like the first original movie, but they changed the gender. Yes, she is now a black woman instead of a black man. Yeah, unlike that boss guy from TMNT, where they not only changed race but also not only changed gender but also race. Whoopi Goldberg. But this isn't Whoopi Goldberg. This is some black lady. So so Alex Murphy is like, hey, chief, police stuff. Yes, police stuff. Something about going after a gang. Yes, yes, a gang. And then he gives a flashback to how he was working with his black partner friend in working a case about finding this gang, and they wind up getting they wind up finding some of the henchmen, but they get away, and his black friend. You know how every movie about a white guy needs a black friend. Yes, definitely. His black friend gets shot, and he's like, "Oh no, you stay with me, buddy." And the black friend is fine. He's doing good. He's in the hospital, getting all better. I don't know why they had to show this in the flashback. They couldn't just do it like linearly. They had linearly, not literally. I said linearly. They showed that first, and then show him bitching to the chief. But I don't know why. So anyway, then they cut to Val Kilmer. Ah yes, Val Kilmer is in the film. Yes, he plays the head of Omnicorp. He's the big head honcho, and he's all like, "Oh, how come this bow tie senator man won't let me do robots here? Like he's letting me do robots. He's letting me make robots in other countries to serve those guys, but he's not letting me have robots walk around over here." And the bow tie senator is like, "Well, it's because we don't like all they're cool. We don't like we think it's really bad to have all these robots here. We don't want Terminator to happen." I think they crossed over in the comic books. Yeah, I heard they did. Franco Miller did it before he went all crazy with his hat. So then the Val Kilmer is like, "Oh, you don't like robots? Well, how about a human with robot parts?" So they decide to do that instead. So they get the help of Jay Baruchel. Oh, I can't pronounce his name either, and he's white. The How to Train Your Dragon kid. Yeah, that guy. So he gets his help with making this new model, and they find out, wait a minute, how are we going to, we don't know anything about cyborg stuff. We only know about just robot stuff. So so then we cut to, this facility where they treat, amputees. People whose body parts have been replaced with robot parts. Yes. Yes, a clinic. And we see Commissioner Gordon without a mustache. Yes, Commissioner Gordon. But we should call him by his name. The actor's name. Not a character he played in a previous film. Yeah, you're right. Out of respect. What's the actor's name? Gully Oldman. Yes, Gray Old Man. So we find Gray Old Man, and he's talking to one of his patients, who is this guy whose hands, human hands, have been replaced with Terminator hands. And I can see how that's a problem because now there's going to be this scientist who's like, oh, let's turn that into a whole business and let's start Skynet and stuff. Yeah, but that's just a joke. Yeah, dude. Anyway, he's like, oh, I can't play with these hands. And when I find that out, I'm like, wait, what's he play? He can't play with his hands? What do you mean? Like those robot hands can't play with his penis? What? And we find out, oh wait, it's a cello. It's like a violin or something. Yes, it's not about the masturbating. It's about the playing music. And we find out that oh he's trying, but he can't do it exactly. And then Val Kilmer has to come and interrupt the scene. He's like, "Oh, Gray Old Man, we need you." And Gray Old Man's like, "Okay." And they was disappointed because I wanted to see more because the violin guy or cello, I don't know, the cello guy, he was getting there with his musical skills with his robot hands, but not completely. And I was like, oh come on, we need to get back to that guy. I want to see a spin-off movie about him, about his story, to see if he can get back on top and be a celloist again and achieve his dreams of being a celloist with his new robot hands. Time will tell. Time will tell. Yeah, you're right. So, Gray Old Man is like, but this is, I, I don't know about this. You know, I've done cybernetics before. Replacing people's uh body parts with robot parts. But this is insane. You're talking about replacing a whole entire body and everything with robot parts. I don't think I want to do this. And Welcome is like, yes, you do. So they're looking around for potentials, and there's this one guy who gained a lot of weight, and I'm like, oh come on, it could be Robo Fat Cup, like Danny Tipperelli from the All That, Fat Cup. Oh, can we get back to the review? Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm going off into a tangent. So, back to the movie. So, so we see, the Alex Murphy back at home with his family, with his wife and his kid, and he's having a great time. Like the kid has this little futuristic phone thing, and he's watching the games. And apparently, the thing about this kid is that he's a fan of sports. And I'm like, oh come on, why can't he be a fan of that show about the twirling gun, like in the original movie? Yes, we don't see any twirling of the gun. Yeah, they do show references in the first one, but I'm disappointed that that's not a reference. But, so then he puts the kid to sleep, and then he's like, oh, I'm gonna have sexy times with my wife. So they get all intimate, and you know what? Even though the first one might have been more graphic and more mature because it was rated R, and this one is PG-13, the first one didn't have any sexy moments, and this one is very sexy. Like they strip each other's clothes, and he's about to have good sex with his wife, and then all of a sudden his car won't shut up. It keeps beeping. And there's another thing that people didn't like when they saw the trailers to this movie. Yes, they thought it was too much of beaming it down, because in the first one he was gunned down by a bunch of gang members. Yes, and in this version it's a blown up car. But I think it packs more of a punch here because it's so unexpected. I mean, he's like, "Oh, I'm getting all sexy with my life, with my wife. I love my wife. Oh, wait a minute, my car won't stop beeping. I'm gonna turn it off real quick. Boom, explosion, I'm almost dead. Boom. Yes, it's more abrupt. Like, oh my god, like your wife is like, oh my god, he was about to have sex with me. He was just about to have sex with me, and now he's dead. He's all exploded. Yes, it's more unexpected. So the so now it's Omnicorp. The gray old man is like, Mrs. Murphy, we can fix him, but he's gonna be different. And she's like, okay. Yeah, she is more skeptical than that. I'm just trying to paraphrase it. So then we cut to this scene where they're in this backyard having a party. The black friend is there, and the wife, and he's dancing with her. Alex Murphy's having a good time, and then and we got Frank Sinatra singing. Are you sure it's him? I'm not an expert in music history. Maybe it was one of the other Rat Pack members. It was one of those Rat Pack members. Whoever wasn't Sammy Sosa, because it was white. Anyway, so then we find out, oh wait a minute, this is not real, this is a dream that Alex Murphy is having, because he's been turned into RoboCop. Yay, we get to see a RoboCop. Yes, he's asleep, being controlled by Gray Old Man, and when we see RoboCop for the first time, he's in his classic silver look. Yes, like me, the Silver Samurai. Nice and silver. The honorable color. Yes, silver. So then they wake him up. And he's like, oh, this is just still a dream. I'm dreaming. I must have gotten high earlier. The gray old man's like, nope, this is not a dream. You're really RoboCop now. He's like, no, this is not true. This is impossible. So he breaks out and he runs away, and we see a bunch of Asian people. Yes, Maya people. And then he barges into what I assume is a Barney convention, a Barney the dinosaur convention, because there's a whole bunch of people in purple jumpsuits. Yeah, that is an odd color to wear in a factory. A robot factory. So then he breaks out, and then he jumps over a wall, and he finds a bunch of Asian workers from like the 1700s, from like 15th century Asia or something. Like, did he just travel through time? What the hell? Some people still dress like that in Asia. Oh, yeah, okay. So then he's running, and then it's either Val Kilmer or Gray Old Man. One of those two turns him off. I think it was Gray Old Man. And so he falls into the water. And I'm like, no, he can't fall in the water. His metal's gonna rust. So then Gray Old Man is having a one-on-one conversation. He's like, okay, we need to talk. You're mostly a robot now. And then he takes RoboCop apart to show like what's left. And Alex Murphy's like, oh no, there's nothing left. And we find out how much of Alex Murphy there still is, and how much is just a robot. And there's very little left, like a lot less than I was expecting. Yes, there is only his brain, his lungs, his heart, his face, and his one hand. Yeah, I can understand keeping like the vital organs, like the lungs, the heart, and the brain, and also the face. So he still has, so he can show that he has the human side still there in public. But why did he keep his hand? I have no idea. Yeah, that was weird. So flu season, flu season. That's why I coughed. So anyway, He's like, oh, my wife and kid cannot see me like this. They can't see me like this. I'm nothing left. You need to make me die. I don't want to live like this. And you're like, oh, but you need to. For them and for the world, you're gonna be a revolution. You're gonna be the first cyborg of the law. And he's like, okay, but they cannot see me like this. So he has a Skype call with his wife, and he doesn't tell her that he's a robot now, because they gotta ease into that idea. They gotta ease into it. So they take him into practice. They make him go through military school. Yes, and the man who helps him with the weapon is the Rorschach. Yes, it's Rorschach, the guy who played Rorschach in the Watchmen movie, and he's there, and he's like, I'm used to only teaching machines how to use weapons, not this meat bag, even though I am also a meat bag. I don't like him. Yes, the Rorschach is a bit of a douche in this movie. Yeah, so the douche puts him through the ropes, shows him the ropes, and they do that by putting RoboCop into the simulation against a robot. So it's RoboCop versus robot. RoboCop versus a robot. Yes. So the way they show what he can do is they make them play a video game, a first-person shooter. Yes, a first-person shooter. I should know a thing or two about video games. And during the first-person shooter trial, the Rorschach drops line like, well, I wouldn't buy that for $1. And if you saw the first RoboCop movie, you know what that was referring to. And I'm like, oh, reference, you're acknowledging the first one. I wouldn't buy that for $1, as opposed to, I'd buy that for $1. Yes. So, the head of Omnicorp, Val Kilmer, yes, Val Kilmer, he is like, this is not good. We need to make him more of a robot, because this human side to him is it's holding him back. The emotion, it needs to be gone. And Gray Oldman is like, no, we can't do that. That would defeat the purpose of having a robot man. If we're just going to turn him into a robot. But Gary Oldman Gray Old Man has to abide. He has to do it. And so he just makes RoboCop, Alex Murphy, just a little bit more like a robot. Just a little bit more. And so now Alex Murphy has to, instead of doing a first-person shooter, he has to shoot robots for real. And the robots are led by Rorschach, wearing that exoskeleton that he from Elysium. Yes, Elysium. He is wearing the outfit from Elysium. And so Robot aces the test. He shoots all of the robots, all of them, to the music of some kind of rock and roll / Yodo song. And as he's shooting them, you hear the music, and then he tases Rorschach, and Val Kilmer's like, oh, he's ready. But first, let's not make him this silver. Let's not make him silver. I don't like that, even though that's how the first movie's. Let's make him black. And I'm like, no, I like the silver. Me too. It's the same silver as me, as my suit. Yeah, that was disappointing. So now he's basically Batman. So now he looks like a cross between Batman and Cyclops from X-Men. So Bat Cyclops is now he's now brought to the U.S. from Asia, and now he's all fancy, and he gets to see his wife and kid, and the wife and kid are like scared, but at the same time glad to see he's home, and it's very emotional. Yes, they all kind of scared. They're like, "Oh look, it's our, it's 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 my husband." The wife is like, "It's my husband, but he's different." Yeah, I was just about had to have sex with him, and now he has no penis. Now hold on, we don't know where his penis went. Yeah, it's true. When we see him right after the explosion, uh, he's a torso, like my friend the motherfucker. Like he was also a torso. He was my previous guest, Red Mist, aka the Mofo, and he's nothing but a torso with artificial limbs. But this guy, at first, Alex Murphy is a torso after the explosion, but then he turns into nothing but a head and vital organs and a hand. So what happened to the rest of his body parts? Where did they put it? Like did they put it in like a freezer somewhere? Yes, maybe his penis is in a freezer somewhere. Yeah, I can't wait to watch the sequel to this. RoboCop 2, Search for the Penis. I can't wait. So now he's about to be. So now they take him to the police station, and his black friend is like, "Oh look, there's RoboCop," except he's not RoboCop, and oh look, there's my old friend Alex Murphy, except he's RoboCop now. And they have like this fancy all white place to keep RoboCop in at the station. Yes, it's opposed to that giant cage in the first one. Yeah, it's a lot cleaner, more hygienic, better to keep a robot in. And as they're about to get ready for presenting the new RoboCop, they're about to publicly announce, like show him for the first time. He begins to have nightmares. Yes, nightmares of his death. Yeah, he's having bad dreams, and he's like, "Oh no, why did I have to die in an explosion, in a car explosion, instead of getting gunned down the first way?" So the gray old man is like, "Oh no, now I'm going to have to erase all of his human emotion, replace it with this RoboCop emotion, just like the first one." Yes. So all his emotions get erased, and he's basically a robot now. Yes, it's very sad because now he has no feelings for his family. Yes, he no longer sees his family and his friends as loved ones. He only sees them as non-threats. Like he detects them, and he's like, these guys are not threat. I have to go now. And they show him at the opening ceremony. And right then and there, he detects he detects a criminal among the crowd. And Black O'Reilly, Sam Jackson's character, Black O'Reilly is like, you see, I told you it was a good idea to have a robot in America. I like this RoboCop. He's awesome. Yes, I think this is the first time in a movie about a superhero where the news guy actually likes the superhero. Well, there's Perry White. He likes Superman. Oh yeah, Perry White. Yeah, but usually the news guy hates the superhero. But not in this case. Black O'Reilly is like, "Oh, I love RoboCop, and I'm going to be annoying about it." So, so now that they have, so now that RoboCop has become a public figure, everyone's like, "Yay, RoboCop! We love RoboCop. He's awesome." Yes, RoboCop is a god now. Well, not completely a god. Uh, sorry. Uh, the the wife of Alex Murphy is like, Alex, you've changed, man. You've changed. You used to be cool. You used to get all sexy with me, and you've changed. They did something to you. You're not you anymore. You got to change back. And Alex Murphy's like, there is no Alex Murphy. There is just RoboCop. I think you were ripped off that line from the Ghostbusters. Whatever, that's a cool line. So, but then, because of that, the human side to Alex Murphy begins to pop up a little bit. You know, it pops up. Not to be sexual. And he's like, oh, I got to solve my own murder. I got to figure out who killed me. So he goes to the crime scene, and by using the cameras, he recreates the situation, and he figures out that the gang that he was trying to chase at the beginning of this movie is behind it. So he does some snooping. Oh, by the way, is this a gang supposed to be the equivalent to the gang from the first movie? Kind of, except these guys are a lot less characterized. Like in the first one, we kept seeing the gang, and they each had their own personality, and they were like all comic reliefs, and they were all happy to do their job. They were like, woohoo! Like, yeah, we're gang members, and we're cool, and we're being led by the father from that '70s show, and we're all cool and stuff, and one of us is going to melt, and we're all going to die, but for now we're all cool and we're happy, yay! But here, it's just a bunch of gang members. They're not really that important, and they don't get really characterized that much. That is a shame. I liked the gang characters from the first one. Yeah, they're kind of brushed over. Well, at least they're there. Yeah, they at least they have counterparts here. At least they're not absent. Yeah, not like that woman from the first one. His lady cop partner. Well, to be fair, she's here too. She's just a black man now. Oh yeah. Yes. Yes. She is here. She's just no longer a white lady. She's a black man. Yes. So, RoboCop, figures out that, oh, wait a minute, two of the police cop people are corrupt, and they helped those gang members kill me. So he arrests them, and then he figures, oh, wait a minute, that police chief, she's also in on it. So he's about to arrest her, but then he's turned off by Rorschach, and Rorschach tells Val Kilmer, this guy is going too far. I don't like Scarecrow. Tin Man. Oh yeah, Tin Man. I don't like Tin Man. I'm turning him off. So they turn him off, and now like this is becoming a problem because they're like, oh, he's becoming too human. He's becoming too human. He's not the state of the art. He's not the state of the art robot that we wanted. He's becoming too human. And Val Kilmer is like, well then, let's get rid of him. Let's make him die. Because not only will people look up to him as a dead hero, because you know how Elvis is a lot bigger now because Elvis is more legendary because he died, and Michael Jackson is more legendary because he died, and that Glasses Beetle John Lennon is bigger because he died, and those two are rappers, and those two rappers, they're bigger because they're dead. And he's all like, hey, they died and they're famous, so let's make RoboCop famous. Yes, and not only would they make him more famous by him making more heroic because he's dead, but also they'll get rid of the mistake. Yeah, they can start from scratch. They can get rid of this RoboCop because they see it as a failure and make a new RoboCop. But that's evil. That's not good because like don't ruin someone else's life and don't kill RoboCop just because he's acting more human. That's a good thing. He shouldn't be a robot. He should be a human. So they're like, oh, let's kill him. And Gray Old Man is like, okay, but Gray Old Man secretly is like no, this is fucked up. I gotta stop them. I gotta stop these guys from killing RoboCop. Like I might have done some bad things in this movie, but I'm not the villain. It's Val Kilmer is the villain. I'm Gray Old Man. I'm not a villain. Yes. So so now, they tell the wife that they bring the wife to the Omnicorp. Yes, they bring her to Omnicorp to lie to her and say, "Oh, your husband died. You move on, bitch." And she's like, how could you do this? You guys are assholes. I hate you. And she storms off, and she's not out of the building yet because that's a big ass building. She takes a while, and she has her kid with her. So Gray Old Man returns to the police station to free RoboCop, and he's like, RoboCop, wake up! Wake up, RoboCop! Wakey, wakey, eggs in the bakey! And RoboCop is like, bacon? Where's the bacon? And he's like, there's no bacon. That did not happen. Oh yeah, there's no sorry, I'm thinking about what I'm gonna have for breakfast tomorrow. What he really said was like, wake up, RoboCop. The Val Kilmer wants to kill you. And he's like, why should I trust you? You're Gray Old Man. You did a bunch of bad stuff in this movie too. And Gray Old Man's like, yeah, I know, but get over it. So RoboCop gets over it. And now he has to save his family. And he chases everybody. Another thing that makes this movie cleaner than the first one, it makes it or gives it a PG-13 rating, is that instead of shooting people in cold blood, he just tased them. Well, most of them. Yeah, most of them. So oh, by the way, I skipped the part where he kills all of the earlier before he got turned off. He kills the gang members. Yes. Well, yes, he does that very fast. Even though in the first one that was like the climax. Yeah, and yeah, that's weird because in the first one, the climax is that he defeats the gang members, and the epilogue is him confronting the businessman in the Omnicorp building. But in this, the uh, the killing of the gang members is just a plot point, and going to Omnicorp to confront the business people, that is the climax. Yes, so now we're at the climax. Yeah, so he gets on his tumbler. By the way, instead of using a cop car like the first one, he uses like a tumbler, a bat cycle, and he rides it. And the police are after him because they think he's a bad guy. Well, most of them, not his best friend. No, his best black friend is like, no, I'm a good guy. I know that RoboCop is a good guy because he was my friend. So he helps RoboCop out at the Omnicorp. Yes, the Omnicorp. And when Val Kilmer finds this out, he's like, oh shit, we gotta bail. We gotta escape here. So they go to the top of the building and they're about to escape with a chopper. Get to the door there, chopper! Yeah, you couldn't resist yourself, could you? No, I could not. So kind of like the first RoboCop movie, where he goes to Omnicorp, he gets confronted first by an Ed 209. Yes, but it's not that much of a conflict because all he does is take a big cannon that was stolen that he got from the gang members when he killed the gang members. Oh, you seem to be falling victim to that flu too. So anyway, in the first one, all he does is he uses the cannon to blow up that one 209, and then he goes to the office to confront the evil businessman. Yeah, that's how it is in the first one. But this situation is a lot different. It's a lot more difficult this time because there's like a dozen 209s now instead of just one. And not only that, but he also doesn't have that cannon. Yes. So there's a big epic battle between him and the 209s. Yeah. It's like a video game level. First it's the 209s, and then it's the Warshak with the with the with this exoskeleton suit from Elysium. Yes, after he is done defeating the 209s with the help of his black friend. Yes, his black friend is there too, and he even is willing to sacrifice himself for RoboCop. He's like, it's my duty as the black character to sacrifice myself for the white character. But it turns out that's not necessary because he doesn't die. Yeah, he's okay. Yes. So RoboCop and the black friend confront Warshak. Yeah, and Warshak is like he's all like look, I've got that suit from I stole it from Matt Damon, or was it Mark Wahlberg? Yes, it was a Matt Damon. Yes, like, look, I've got that suit from Matt Damon. It's cool. I'm gonna use it to kill you, Tin Man. And he's also got his own black friend. Yes, but they do not stand. But they don't stand a challenge to RoboCop and his black friend. Yeah, so RoboCop and his black friend, defeat Warshak and Warshak's black friend. You know, they chase them real bad. Either that or they shoot them. I don't know. They either get shot or chased. I don't know. This cold is making me all woozy. Oh, yes, it is a flu season. Yeah, I keep telling them that. You know, to remind them why it's really weird this time. So anyway, the black friend gets banged up a bit, but he's fine. He's okay. Like he's not the kind of black friend to die. So RoboCop makes it up to the very top of the building, the Omnicorp building, and Val Kilmer is still waiting for that chopper. Just like a Joker in the first Batman movie. Yeah. So he uses the wife and the kid as hostages. Yes, hostages. Yeah, although they don't know they're hostages, because remember when I said that the wife and the kid were there earlier, but then they stormed off, but they were still there because it takes a while to get out of the building? Well, you know, the Val Kilmer now has them in his clutches, and he tells them like, oh, remember when he said he was dead? Well, the human part was. The robot part is all crazy now, and it's going on a killing spree. But when RoboCop comes, the wife sees it in his eyes and sees, like, no, wait a minute. Wait just a minute. I believe that this really is Alex Murphy, and I think that he's just perfectly fine. It's you guys. It's you, Val Kilmer and Jay Baruchel. You're the evil ones. So RoboCop is like get down on the floor, and Jay Baruchel is like don't hurt me. I'm just comic relief, even though I didn't say anything funny in this movie. Yes, Baruchel, he got to shut up. Yeah, he got his big mouth shut. So Val Kilmer's like, no, I'm not going to get down on the floor. You might have been successfully told Jay Baruchel to, but I'm less of a pussy than Jay Baruchel. Yes, and he goes on a monologue about how RoboCop is just a machine. He's not a man anymore. He's a machine, and he cannot kill Val Kilmer because he's been programmed not to. Yes, he's been programmed not to. But then, as he's about to shoot RoboCop, RoboCop shoots him, which shows that RoboCop is still human inside. Yes, it proves that he is still a man. I'm kind of disappointed though that Val Kilmer wasn't right next to the ledge of the building. When he gets shot to death, he just falls over. He doesn't fall off the building, even though he's close to the edge. I wish he did because then they could recreate that scene in the first movie where the evil businessman falls to his death, and as he's falling, for some reason turns into Mr. Fantastic, and his arms get all stretchy. Yeah, that was a cool, even though it was silly. So now it seems like RoboCop is dead because when he shot Val Kilmer shot him, and and uh, and his wife is and RoboCop's wife, Mrs. Murphy, is like, no Robo Murphy, don't die, Alex. I don't want you to die. And it's like that scene in Iron Man, where it looks like Tony Stark is dying, but in the epilogue he's just fine. That's kind of like here too, because in the epilogue they show him and he's perfectly a-okay. Yes, he is fine, and he's being put back together by Grey Oldman. Yeah, Grey Oldman really was a good guy, and he gets reunited with his family, and his family is like, look, we know that you're RoboCop now, and his wife is like, I know that I can't have sex with you anymore, but I still love you. And Alex Murphy, who's also RoboCop now, oh, he was but dead. Right, Alex Murphy says I love you too, and I'm always going to protect you, and I swear on my former body's grave that I'm going to find that penis. He doesn't really say that. Yeah, but I wish he did because they were about to have sex, and then his his penis got replaced by metal. Why are you gonna keep bringing that up? I just think it's tragic, that's all. So, so now they ended with the news. They ended with just one more. They ended with one more news segment by Black O'Reilly, and Black O'Reilly is like So it turns out that those robot guys were evil, but I still believe in RoboCop because I saw RoboCop earlier and he's doing a-okay. So I don't believe these rumors that he's gone haywire. He's doing fine, and he's like, oh, but those laws about bringing all robots into the country has been approved. Oh no, that Senator Bowtie guy, he got his law passed, so now there's not going to be no robots, and it's all because of Grey Old Man. And I'm Black O'Reilly, and I'm the guy who's mad about good stuff that happens in the movie, and I hate this. And then Samuel Jackson does his trademark F-bombing. Yes, but I also believe that he was channeling Bill O'Reilly here. Yes, because it's also Bill O'Reilly's trademark to F-bomb too. We'll do it live! We'll do it live! Fucking thing sucks. Yes, exactly like that. So then he gets into a stint about America and how America is great. Like, America, fuck yeah. Like how Bill O'Reilly does it. And then the movie ends. It ends right there. Yes, the movie ends, and but we don't get the RoboCop score. Yes, but to be fair, we got the score earlier. So instead of hearing the score here, instead we are treated to a rock song. The one that goes, I fought the law, and law won. I fought the law, and law won. I fought the law, and Law 1. Which makes you think, in this scenario, is RoboCop the one who fought the law and the law won? Because he kind of won in the end. So is it Val Kilmer who fought the law and the law won because he's dead? I don't know. I think that song is more appropriate for a Judge Dredd movie. Yeah, Judge Dredd. And the law. So anyway, so that's the movie, everybody. That's the movie. Yes, that is it in a nutshell. Or should I say, a silver metal shell. Oh ho 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 ho. Oh ho 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 ho. Oh ho. Oh, I kidded myself. Okay. So, final thoughts. I thought it was good in its own right. The original one was good, and this one was also good. Usually, when there is an original and a remake, the remake is shit and the original is good. Or the original is shit and the remake is good. But in this case, both are good in their own right. That's exactly how I feel. Okay, now let's go for overall score. To the viewers at home who have not yet seen the movie, Silver Samurai, tell me, is this movie, is it better? Would you prefer? That's what I should say. Would you prefer? Do you think? Oh God, I can't get this out of my mouth. That's what she said. That's what she said. Okay, okay, Silver Samurai, tell me. Tell me right now, Mr. Yashida, tell me. Should the viewers watch this movie or should they get their penis exploded off from a car bomb? I think that it is preferable to watch this movie instead of getting your penis exploded off. That is how I feel exactly. I think that this movie is a better experience than losing your penis in a car explosion. And that is how we said the review. Yes, that's how we end it. Well, thank you, Mr. Yashida, for joining me on this ride of watching the RoboCop movie. It was my honor. I am the Silver Samurai. And I'm Gravitalk. And this has been Gravitalk. See you during our next movie. This was very enjoyable. Why, thank you. How do you want to sign off? I thought we just did. Yeah, well, during the credits, we keep doing stuff. Oh, well, I guess I can, recite my haiku about the movie. Okay. And while you do that, I can keep singing that awesome theme song. Okay, let's do this. Oh, Alex Murphy, you are human, but at the same time, you are machine. The machine part is good, but human part is good too. Two pieces of the puzzle must be merged. One piece fighting other piece must be one. Must agree to defeat Val Kilmer. Alex Murphy, you must become one with the machine, even if you are just a head and lungs. You are RoboCop. You are a robot and a cop. RoboCop.